Welcome to the Food and Bars tour of the Valiant Lady Virgin Voyages cruise. We are on a 5-night cruise right now. This was also the Eat and Drink Festival, so this was a special time because it's like previewing other foods that are gonna be on future cruises, I believe. I think it's gonna be on the Brilliant Lady. The food really like reminds me, like especially the desserts, of like the bear, because again, I'm not sophisticated, but like when the dessert, I tried this dessert that was like a vanilla mousse with popcorn on it, and it was like almost like a jello consistency, which I wasn't expecting, with like marshmallow, but it's like all those weird combination flavors. So it's a foodie's paradise. But it's important to note this is from a picky eater's perspective. I brought along Pam, and she's not as picky as me, but she's a pescatarian, and we just don't have the most sophisticated palates. So we're not claiming to be foodies. But I'm gonna show everything that I can. Like I'm gonna do a drive-through of the restaurants, talk a little bit about them as I'm driving through what's on the menu, and then I'll show videos of all the food that I took at like the Galley, just like what it looks like. But I think it's interesting to give a picky eater's perspective to see if you will survive if you're a picky eater. And the good news is, yes, you will. Because here's the thing. I eat pasta with red sauce like every single day. And this trip is the longest I've gone without eating it. I didn't get it until the last day at Extra Virgin. And you know what? I survived. And I actually experimented more than I ever have with food because, hey, I'm on a cruise. It's all included. So I tried a lot more than I normally did. And it's pathetic compared to most people's palates. But like I said, I'm not claiming to be a foodie. Without further ado, let's get into it. Here's the booklet for the Eat and Drink Festival. This focused on flavors from New York, LA, Seattle, and Miami. And I'm going to just show a little bit about what the book is about. And I will also show the restaurants, but it's pretty cool because they have like actual recipes in here for not only the drinks, but the food as well. A side note, as we go through the videos, some of them will have strobe effects, so if you're sensitive to that, this may not be the video for you, or technically the cruise, because while the cruise itself doesn't have strobes everywhere, I noticed it particularly in the elevator and some other places with the lighting, so just keep that in mind as you're watching and thinking about the Valiant Lady. I will say some of the strobes were from my camera on white backgrounds that I needed to adjust the settings that I didn't realize. So the strobes aren't everywhere that are on the video, but I'm just giving that disclaimer. There are also classes. Pam did the shaken and stirred one. I'll show that. We didn't participate, but there's a passport to drink activity where if you get all these 7 drinks at all the places and you get a stamp, you get a raffle ticket for a prize, which to be honest, I don't know what that is. So now let's see some actual food. Here we're at Well Bread for the Eat and Drink Festival offerings. We have a black and white cookie, a creme brulee donut, some sort of apple bread, a wild mushroom thing, and a Nathan's hot dog wrapped in a pretzel, as well as a Miami crosstone with marinated peppers and a braciole panino. Now on the sweet side of this place, we have many desserts, and this was very hard to choose. I got 2, but maybe I should have got the cannoli. There was multiple fruit options if that's what you're into. Everything had a little bit of a twist to it. There wasn't anything super plain, like the chocolate mousse was espresso mousse. There was all different types of desserts. The burger place still has the staples, but they also have the crispy Reuben roll and the New York hot dog. The Taste of Miami has a lot going on. If you're a vegan, you're not going to want to see this whole suckling pig. We didn't order anything here, but here's a little bit of a look. It's not the best look at what some of the Taste of Miami foods look like. Don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but this is the leche de tigre. A Taste of LA was found at Bento Baby, and it was in the variety of the sushi boxes. I'm just gonna do a video over them, and you can pause and compare to the other video I do on the regular days, because I don't really know anything about sushi, to be honest. I had to really drive fast past the spicy tuna roll and the cucumber avocado roll, just because I didn't want to hold up the line, but those were also specials. The Sips of Brilliant was actually at the taco place, and I'll show some of the sample drinks as well as some of the amazing staff there.
Oh, you were made for the camera. Thank you. You're welcome.
There's a salad place that has specialty salads pre-made and specials daily. These weren't part of the Eat and Drink Festival, but you can also like pretty much make your own salad by just like asking them to put what you'd like into it. And there's pretty much a good variety of different types of lettuce and toppings to create all different types of salad. And there's bread on the other side. Here's my final Eat and Drink Festival plate. I know it's not impressive. I got a salad. I got 2 of the desserts that were offered. And then I had never had a veggie burger, so I tried that for the first time because Pam absolutely loved the veggie burger there. And I will say the fries were amazing. She also got the espresso mousse. And she was definitely a fan of it. I already pretty much gave my recap of the vanilla mousse, which wasn't super vanilla-y in the beginning. My favorite was the black cake. I really like it. It was just chocolatey on chocolatey and great texture. Before I show the other places to eat and drink, I wanted to show how room service works. So there is a $10 fee. However, you can get out of that if you order anything that has a cost. So I've heard, we didn't use this, but even like a drink that's $4 would get you out of the $10 fee. So we didn't have a balcony, but if we did, I could picture us potentially using this. But here's just a little look at the offerings inside the app. Let's start on deck 5 with Razzle Dazzle and Pink Agave. We were able to get a reservation to Razzle Dazzle before even boarding the ship because it wasn't one of the hardest to get a reservation into. And originally we did because it looked like New American Flair was kind of the name for it and how there was a little something for everyone. And I didn't realize how like customizable they were on this ship beforehand where they could make something more plain. So we ended up actually canceling our reservation because everything was a little bit funky. I'll let you look at the menus yourself online. They're available online. They have brunch and dinner offerings. Now we're on to Pink Agave. What do you think these look like? Let me know in the comments. Pam and I were debating. We actually did eat here at Pink Agave. It is a Mexican style restaurant and I'll show you what we got. I'm just taking a video of these forks and this knife. I don't know if you can tell how skinny and petite these are. I was entertained by it. Pam and I both got a bowl of esquites, which is like Mexican street corn. We both really liked it. They brought over this bowl of squash. I don't know if it was for a palate cleanser or what. We didn't order it, but it was good. Pam got guacamole. She really liked this guacamole. She liked the pomegranate seeds in it. She thought that was better than the guacamole she got earlier in the day at Cozumel. And she also really liked the street corn. She also got a spicy martini, which paired well with her meal, and she really liked it. I got these roasted potatoes with garlic and grilled onions, and it was something different for me, and I liked it. We both got the Relleno Vegano, which is a russet potato and roasted corn stuffed with poblano pepper. Don't know if I pronounced all that right. Pam said, "Oh, this is really spicy," and she was right. It was way too spicy for me. I literally tried that small of a portion, and I could still taste the heat, which I know is pathetic, but I already warned you that I'm not a foodie. Here's a look at the dessert and coffee menu. We got the Mexican chocolate style dessert, which is called the tamal de chocolate, and Pam got it with fruit and I got mine without. And we really, really loved this. We both thought this was super delicious. What is this?
It's just presentation.
Like, if this is seaweed, I swear. And now we're on to deck 6. So on the rocks is basically like right near the middle of the ship with the big staircase. There's always some sort of performer in there, and it's basically a bar where the servers come around and offer you things to drink. Now test kitchen. This is pretty easy to get a reservation at because it's very unique dining. It's basically set up like a science lab, and it's all about experimenting with food. The food's supposed to look really fancy. It's supposed to combine all sorts of flavors and textures. So not for us. However, Pam did do the Martini shaken and stirred class, and it was in here. I'll show some videos from that.
Lovely. We have enough seats for exactly everybody.
This class did have an extra fee to participate, but Pam really enjoyed it, and it was deducted from the drink package that she got, the bar tab.
All right.
I'm going to save extra version to the end because I have a long talk about how to get a table there, so we're going on to deck 7. This right here is the Grounds Club. This is more of a premium coffee shop. So in the galley, there's the tap cold and tap hot. Tap hot is like coffee and all that, but this is more premium, and then it also has more premium like breakfast croissants and all that. And there are other spots to sit with chargers and things like that. Now we're going into the social club, diner and bar. It's exactly how it sounds. There's board games you can play over here, and there's more like American style food. There's karaoke to the right at night. They also play sports games around here, which makes sense based off their menu of like hot dogs, popcorn, and pretzels. If you were to go to walk past the social club when you first enter, there's this little dessert bar area, which is amazing. And they also have like candy jars. I love it. There's more in the back. I only got one thing here, and it was a cake pop, but I loved it so much, and I really was regretting not putting some in my bag, even though it wouldn't have really made its way home. Pam also got the cereal bar because like she can't just get a cake pop, even though that's obviously the best thing on the menu, but it was just so amazing, that cake pop. I can't even. And yes, it was also included. Now straight through here is the Loose Cannon bar. This is simply a bar, no food. I'll let you take a quick look at the menu, but you'd want to pause if you want to actually read anything. Just taking a vlog. And now this is the Dock House. They have drinks and Mediterranean casual type of food. This is the indoor portion. This is the Dock House. There's also the dock outside, which we spent a lot of time on because it's really a nice view outside, which I'll show in a minute after I show a quick view of the menu. So there's an inaccessible and accessible entrance to outside. These salad stations are great. They have these at the Galley, the Pizza Palace, and here at the dock. And I really liked the convenience of that. Those are included.
That said, I don't want to end my show with some lousy PR here.
It was great. Sometimes they had the speakers playing what was going on in the atrium or the on the rocks section, depending on what the event was in there. The wake is actually on deck 6, but you can access it from the stairs on deck 7. I'm just showing it from this angle so you can get a better view since we did not eat in there. It's seafood and steak. It's one of the harder places to get a reservation. Now we're going into Sip, which is a lounge. It's like a champagne type of lounge at night, and it has high tea during the day. It's funny, to the left is like the door for Manor, which is a nightclub, and that's like the upper part of it. So it's funny, like the contrast, because here they have like high tea and all that. This does cost extra, which I found out about when I asked for a to-go bag for one of everything from the dessert menu, because I wanted to do a video taste testing them because they all looked really good. Now the famous Lick Me Till ice cream shop. They change the flavors every day, so I will show 2 different days, but these cones are actually flavored too. You can get it in a dish, but now I'll show a little bit more. So this is a different variety than I've shown, and I'm asking her what the different things mean. So GF is gluten-free, V is vegetarian, and double V is vegan. And when I was checking this day, there was only one vegan option. I lactose. Okay, that's the only one, the green machine. Okay, I brought dairy things with me. Even though I was tempted with the red velvet cone, I just went with vanilla 1 scoop in a cup, just because I don't do that well with dairy. But it was super good. I really liked it. Now on to the pizza place. It's interesting kind of the inconsistencies with like the hand washing devices they had at certain places. Like Gunbay had an actual sink. This had a bit more than just a sanitizer dispenser. That's a little different than what I'm used to on like Royal or Disney that has like sinks everywhere. So just an observation. Like I mentioned earlier, they have a great salad station here. They got things to drink. You can get buckets of beer. They also have specials every day. And here's a look at how they have all different types of ingredients, so you can ask for customization and things like that. I regret not trying the Pretty Fly for white. I can't remember if it's Guy or not. It's like a white pizza. I didn't get a chance to try it, but it sounded really good. Here's a look at the inside dining. They also have outdoor dining. There's not a ton of seating, but there's a variety of seats. It doesn't have an accessible entrance to get out there, directly at least. But here's a look at just the regular pizza. It was really good, honestly. Like, we had this a couple of the days, and it's just like a great snack because the quality was really good. And Pam got one of the specials, and she liked that as well, but she just asked them for like one less ingredient, and they were happy to accommodate that. So I keep reiterating that, but they're really willing to work with you on customizing even the specials. In the middle of the 7th deck, there's Draft House, which is in the corner to the left. This is just a bar. Now on to deck 15, the home of the Galley, which is the general food hall. You already saw parts of this with the Eat and Drink Festival, but now I'm going to show it when the festival is not going on. I'm showing more detail here to show the accessibility features, such as this station here has a lower version that people could use if they were using a wheelchair. I wish that the whole thing had accessible options, but the buttons are pretty easy to push and you can just leave the cup right at the bottom. You don't have to hold on to it. So pretty accessible. Could be a little bit more, but I will say the staff were always super willing to help, so that was great. This is the taco place. This and the noodle place weren't open late, so definitely check the hours if this is something you want to try, because this station actually turns into sips of brilliant at night. But now I'll just show you a bit of what's here. We just stuck with plain chips and salsa, which was really more like pico de gallo. Hot Press is like a panini sandwich type of place. We didn't try these, but here's a look at them. Noodle Around has Asian-inspired noodle dishes. We did try here. We both just got like the most plain option, which was miso udon, which I'll show, and people will probably get mad that I made it even more plain by just taking the noodles out of the broth. But that's more my style. But I really liked them when we did that, and Pam had them with the broth, and she really liked it as well. Here's some of the regular offerings at Bento. Pops and Bubs has ice cream pops and popsicles, as well as champagne and other fizzy type of drinks. I didn't have any of these, but they look good. Back to Well Bread. As you can see, they have flatbread, croissants, different types of rolls and breads, cookies. It's a great place here. Gunbae, the Korean barbecue restaurant, is actually connected to the Galley, so we'll take a look inside now. As you can see, they have a sink. I haven't seen a sink like this at the other restaurants, like I've mentioned. We'll take a look inside here now. So this, I've heard, is one of the more fun restaurants. We didn't eat here because we're not particularly into Korean barbecue, but they do at the table grilling, and this is one of the more interactive restaurants I've heard. They do drinking games that often involve soju. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So yeah, they try to make it fun and interactive. There's a few bars throughout the pool area. I'm just going to highlight one. This one has food. It's the Sun Club Cafe. I'll just show the menu here. There's a few places to eat, and then beyond that is Richard's VIP area that the Rockstar status has access to. The ship show is dinner in a show. It was free. The menu was a bit limited, so we just got dessert, which was this white and chocolate mousse, and we both really liked it. The red piece is chocolate on the inside. It's just decorated red. I'm going to do a separate vlog for when we went to Bimini, but since this is part of Virgin, the beach club, I am going to show it and the food. Cozumel, I'm just showing the food separately there because it's not part of Virgin. But there's a bar, there was non-alcoholic specialty drinks, there was, the soda fountain. Here are the food offerings. I will show what we got and explain that they really were open to making it more plain and not just the different flavors that they had on the menu. This is what Pam got. She got the corn with the coconut and jerk mayo flavoring. She thought that was good. She also got the Caribbean beans and rice. She thought that whole thing was like really filling. She didn't even finish it all. I just got plain rice. They were fine with that. I got the rum cake. It wasn't my style, but it was decent. And I really just liked the plain corn and rice, and that was a good beach meal for me. And that night we finally got into Extra Virgin, the Italian restaurant that I was waiting for, and now I'm going to explain to you how we did it and how it was. I like how there's a different variety of seat levels, and there are some seats by the windows, but as you'll hear, you'll just be glad you got a seat. But if you do have accessibility needs, they're very great about, as they say, valet parking the scooter, where you just bring it to the table and they'll move it away for you. So they're super accommodating and accessible like that here. One thing Virgin could do a little bit better is the reservation system. So we booked this cruise fairly last minute. I think it was like 4 weeks ahead of time. And by that time, like, people had already had access to reservations for dining. I don't know when exactly that was released, and I don't know if it's always the same time frame. So that's something you would want to research before your trip. But by that time, all of Extra Virgin, all of the reservations were booked. Places like Test Kitchen, Gun Bay, and Razzle Dazzle, those ones are easier to get into. But the Wake, which is seafood and steak, and then Extra Virgin, which is the Italian restaurant, are the hardest to get into based on what I'm hearing and our experience, with Extra Virgin being the most difficult to get into. We also did not get reservations the day of because we had a late checkout time of 3:30. So we did not get reservations then either. So I'll tell you how I was able to successfully get a reservation. One of the nights I asked Sailor Services and they were like, go at 5:45 to try to get in because that's when it opens. But I didn't take that as seriously as I should have because, like, technically on the website it's a little misleading because they say we save some spots for walk-ins. But it's actually, I heard, I don't know if this is true, 8 seats. So the first 8 people in line get a walk-in seat right away. So that's like pretty much the bar. The bar is included with reservations, so those are not separate seats that you can walk in. That's what I heard. Don't know if it's true. And then all the people after 8 get added to a list, and then if a reservation opens up, then you get called. So the first night I got there at like 7:30, and I was like, can I get added to the list? And then the guy showed me like pages of reservations, like wait lists ahead of me, walk-ins. And then so I was like, never getting in tonight. So then the next night, I get there at 5:40, thinking I'm going to get that reservation. There was a huge line already outside. So when we got there, we were probably like 18th on the list. We checked at 8:30 to see would we get in that night. And only 5 parties had gotten in at that time. He did say it was turning slower than usual, but that's just a ballpark. Then finally how I got there at 5 o'clock tonight. I was the third in line. I got there pretty much at the same time as the people in front of us. We got there at the same time. And then one person got there at 4:45. So she was the first in line. But I was second and third in line at 5 o'clock. So that's just a reference, getting there 45 minutes early. But it was worth it because the bread was absolutely amazing. I loved it so much. I just can't even describe it. There was something that, it was like a Caesar salad, but it was more with like eggs and anchovies and things like that. So I basically was like, can I just have a Caesar salad? And that's what they got me. The pasta was really good. I mixed it up with some bolognese. To be honest, I wish I did a double serving of the marinara, but I mixed it up with the bolognese. It was a little too meaty for me, but again, I'm picky. Even like with the marinara, that wasn't on the menu, the pasta with marinara, but they got that for me. I really wish I got more of the marinara. Here's a limoncello that Pam really enjoyed. We also both tried the eggplant. Pam liked it, but she does like eggplant. This was my first time trying it, so don't really take my advice on it. It definitely looks good. Something that looks more interesting, but apparently tastes good, is the artichoke dish. I'll just let you make your own decisions on that. Yeah, so we didn't have room for dessert because, like I ate a lot. Pam really ate her whole artichoke. She really loved that artichoke. And she also loved the eggplant. Yeah, we really enjoyed that restaurant. Now I'm going to give a recap of our thoughts of the dining as a whole, but while I'm talking, check out the menu at Extra Virgin to see what you would have gotten. But Pam and I both agreed the quality was really good. Like, we liked all of our meals. Like, even when we experimented for some, like at Pink Agave, we had different things than we normally get, but we still liked them. And we had fun trying new things because both of us are kind of cautious, like sometimes about like ordering a meal at a restaurant. But here, when you can like pretty much sample, it's more fun. So my highlight, Pam didn't necessarily have a highlight. She really loved the Impossible Burger from the Galley. So that's like a solid staple. I don't know. That's just what popped into her mind now. But tomorrow it could be something different. I know for a fact mine is extra virgin. I will say the staff were great because they would work with you if you wanted something more boring or plain or something. So the staff were really great. It's awesome how you can like customize and get whatever you want. So yeah, we really recommend it. And if you are a picky eater as well, you will survive and you will have a great time. Most likely. I guess I don't know you, so I can't guarantee it. And I don't know your palate. But probably you should be fine and enjoy. So if you enjoyed this vlog, make sure to subscribe. Especially because I'll be posting vlogs of a tour of the ship, our accessible room, and much more, including activities and just a general review of the ship. I also give accessibility reviews of other places I visit, so check out my channel if you want to see more.